H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's TheFlyBoy. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. And welcome back to another episode of Jeep Talk. Jeep Talk, this is Jeep Talk episode 21. Life after 50. Do you want to work forever? Forever, ever? Forever, ever? Forever, ever? I was on Ice City Live last night, and we had a great conversation about different things. You guys might want to go check that one out. But one of the major things that was brought up during the conversation was with X-Ray was a lot of people are traveling, a lot of people are living and spending money, a lot of people are doing things now in their 30s, their 40s, where it ends up looking like they're going to have to work for the rest of their lives. I think this live will be a talk on Jeep Talks mostly about retirement and plans after 50. I mean, I guess the best way, to start is just to start. But I want to shout some people out because I know salute to Bart's always being one of the first ones in here for Jeep Talks. Salute to Jay Brass, always being one of the first ones in here for Jeep Talk. And what's up, Just? What up? DC in the building. Yeah. All right, so bear with me. I gotta eat and have something to do. I'm here. One thing people don't understand is that I'm a firm believer in living in the moment. I believe in enjoying every moment because you never know what moment will be your last. But I'm also a firm believer in preparing for the future. We've gotten to a point where I think here in the United States, with whatever's going on with the money inflation, with just the education system, with everything, that a lot of people, if not the majority of people, think it's either one or the other. And what they end up doing is crashing out and focusing all on one. Either they crashing out and they focusing their whole life on saving, working, and building money, like a lot of older folks, like like Charlie Munger or like Warren Buffett, or they're doing the opposite and they don't care about the next day and they just want to spend money and have a party, like a lot of the kids that live, a lot of young people, not kids, sorry, that live in the urban area where I live, or some of the people I know that just blow all their bags on traveling, and then they come back to the States and they're completely broke, trying to work the money up again to get back to traveling. A lot of through all these Jeep Talks, you're going to see to me that I'm going to continually bring you into something that's about balance. Because if after 50 you have no plans to be able to stop working, real quick, I want to show you something before I say this. 1 second, y'all. Look, this is the perfect. Oh, hold up. Oh. I just want to. Hold on. I was trying to. That was proven. I wish I had a red light. I'd quit that. Now I don't know the guy's circumstances right there, but literally what I was trying to show you guys was a 70, maybe 80-year-old guy who was a crossing guard in the town. Now I know some people have a passion with people and they like to work, they like to do stuff, but me personally, I think At 7, he had to be over than 70. At over 70, it would be nice to know. Like, I wish I could talk to somebody. And I probably will. Maybe in one of my lives that's on my computer, I will eventually talk to somebody who's older than like 60, who may be still working, to try to get them to see if they could talk about at what point did they realize that they were going to be working forever, or over 70 rather, more to see at what point did you realize that you was going to have to go back to work. And now, I believe in setting up a plan. I don't believe in just complaining. I believe in setting up a plan. So I'm going to talk with you guys through, and we're going to mess up the part when it gets to the mountains. I'm going to talk to you guys through, because I like to always start from me. I always like to give you my personal life story before I get into just the psychology of things, rather. Let me show you how I planned. My biggest thing was that I didn't want to be homeless, right? I never started thinking about retirement or retiring early or even having money or even not working. I never thought about not working. That was never a thing in my life. I've been working since I was 14 years old. I've never thought about not working when I was growing up. There was a point I was homeless for a week because I got kicked out of my grandparents' house, and I got kicked out of my grandmother's house. My mother at the time was away, with handling mental problems in an institution, and I got kicked out of my grandfather's house, and I had just got kicked out of my grandmother's house. So both of them thought that I was at the other person's house, but they had both kicked me out. So I ended up being at my friend's house for a while. After that moment, I realized, okay, you always gonna need a place to live. You're gonna always. I don't want to ever do this again. Straightened up, got my act right, went to school, finished school on time, went to college, did 2-year college, graduated like 10 years later. But they usually say it's some kind of life-changing thing. I don't think that was a life-changing thing as far as understanding retirement. But one day I was talking to somebody at my job where I work now, and at my job there's a difference in age, because where I work at FedEx, you couldn't drive until you're 21 years old. But somehow they hired me at 20 in that part of the job. I haven't worked since 18 at FedEx, but they hired me at 21 and 20, and they didn't notice I wasn't 21 yet. So I had to sit and wait, and I couldn't drive trucks. I had to wait till my birthday came up. And as I sat there and wait and looked around, I realized there was people who were 74 there, people who were 73 there, 72, and they were still working, still driving trucks, and still working. I'm like, what would ever make me decide that I would still want to be here at that age? Like, do you not have like as I started to travel and I started to see other places I can go, I started to realize I have to develop something where I can retire and still enjoy my life. Because a lot of people don't understand that the average man lives to 74. The average black man lives to 72. The average woman lives to 76. If the retirement age is 67, that means you spend 95% of your life working to be living for what? 5 years after you work, if you're black. 7 years after you work, if you're a man. Nah, this can't be right. So as I saw those people at my job working at that age, I said, I don't want to be. I got to think about life after 50. I got to think about life after 50. And in order to think about life after 50, when I get in my 20s, I can't be balling and spending all this money recklessly without some kind of investment. So I did that. I was able to get the houses and do that at 32. I didn't rush it. I didn't say that I gotta save every penny at 20. I didn't say in my 30s I gotta spend all my time inside, because I understand that mentally you still have to be prepared. You still have to be prepared for the realization of what it is. And if you aren't prepared, you gotta realize you're not gonna. It's unlikely that most people my age, I'm 39, I'll be 40 this year, are going to be able to retire. Period. No. Are going. I'll give you some insight to what I mean by that. There are three stools. We consider three stools of retirement, because if you depend on one thing for retirement, it doesn't. And we're going through the mountains right now, so it might mess up. But hopefully you can hear me. If you depend on your pension for retirement, well, that means that you have to be at least my age, because after about 2008, pension stopped being a thing. For those that don't know even know what a pension is, because their job never mentioned it to them, what a pension is you've worked for a company for a decent amount of time, 20 years or more. Say, we're going to pay you consistently until you die, after you retire, which is still 62. All right, yo, at the earliest. But that is not a thing for the majority of people anymore. So if you're under the age of 35, throw that out the window, because that's not a stool that you have anymore. That's not an availability that you have anymore. So then they say we're going to turn it to a 401k, and what a 401k is a savings fund, basically, which you put money in, and in most companies, I'm not sure about all, but most companies match the contributions that you put in. Then the company put in 6% of my income to match it. I'm putting 12% of my income away to save for a future. So let's say pension going out the window. So you now have Social Security and you have a 401k. Can you survive on that? In the States, it's very unlikely. But it's not impossible, but it's unlikely. If you just have the Social Security and you're depending on that to do it, and you know that it's not going to be there at least at the level it's supposed to be. They might not ever get rid of Social Security, because I don't see how they could do it when they're taking it out of everyone's check. If you ever worked, look at your check. Look at the part that says Social Security and Medicare. That's coming out of everybody's check. So I don't think that's a part that they can ever stop. But the amount that you get will never solely be enough for you to survive in the United States. I don't care where you live. If you don't own your place, the Social Security fund alone will not be enough for you to, and this is now. So in the future, can you imagine how worse it's going to be? In the future, can you imagine how bad it's going to be? If it now is not enough. But now through technology, we have a way. We have a way to figure out, make it work. And the way that it's going to most likely be is knowing about the international world. There is not going to be another way. And I don't ever say never, but I cannot foresee another possible way to retire in the future if you have no 401k, if you're not old enough to have a pension, and if you're depending on Social Security, aside from going international. There's no other way. I mean, that's, of course, I'm taking it if you're not investing in stocks, or if you're not investing in real estate like I do. There is no other way. And it's sad to say, I've always been a numbers person. Oh, I'm back, y'all. I've always been a numbers person. And I think a lot of people are just living for the moment. Another Jeep. But I'm not certain that it's really in the cost to them, that, because a lot of us now, a lot of us that travel, a lot of us are doing this, we in our 20s. We're not even in our 30s. We mid-30s or older. Again, this is Jeep Talk episode 21, Life After 50. Are you planning whatever? And if you guys haven't, again, go check out the video I did with Ice City 510 yesterday. We talked a lot about this actually too, with X-Ray. I think that people, I don't want to say that people are just surviving, because I know we have bad spending habits as just United States citizens. We have worse spending habits as black people in the United States. And because of our spending habits, a lot of us can't see that it's great to do this travel stuff. It's great to be a content creator. But are you really thinking that at 50, at 60, at 70, you're really going to be making that significant amount of money on YouTube, on Rumble, on Instagram? You're going to be wanting to do all that you got to do? You think that at 60 or at 50, after 50, I'm going to want to be jumping all up and down, doing all these crazy trips that I do now? Maybe I'll still have a bunch of women. Maybe I'll still, you guys can ask any question you want. This is Jeep Talk. And I'll get your comments in a minute when we get to the red light. Maybe I'll still be wanting a different women. Maybe I'll still be able to sit here and talk to you and do lives. But I don't think after 50, I'm going to be wanting to sit there and edit these amazing videos. I'm going to be wanting to go on a mountain and play in a mud volcano. I'm going to want to go jumping off the balcony, jumping off the cliff in Brazil. I don't think so. After 50? So if that's what attracts people on YouTube, then you got to expect that what you're doing is not going to work after 50. But a lot of people they not planning. And if you don't plan, then you plan to fail. Do you want to work forever? Do you know how many people are going back to work at jobs like Walmart, to work at jobs like I just showed y'all earlier, the security guard who looks over 70? I mean, maybe they enjoy it because they're a people's person. So there are exemptions why people sometimes just work so they won't be bored because they haven't figured out what they want to do in their life. Or they haven't figured out what makes them happy outside of working. But I can't fathom knowing that I have an opportunity now because I'm not 50, because I'm not 45, because I'm almost 40, but I'm not 40 yet. I had the opportunity now where I can make changes for the future so I don't end up one of these people who are dependent on the government in the States, and they put me in like a little room or a shack because that's all that they can afford to give me. And my life is just simply sitting in a room and watching TV or something. You gotta see the picture, man. I know it's difficult because, you know, we see these beautiful women in these different countries. We see how inexpensive it is. That's a part of the learning. We need to do that. We need to do that because that, to me, is going to be the only way in the future you'll be able to retire comfortably. Comfortably or good. But if you're over 30, if you're over 25, and you haven't thought not once about life after 50, man, you're gonna have a hard time, yo. You're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna have a harder time than the people before us, because at least the people before us were smart enough to make everybody else dumb that's younger than them, to make them work and trap them in the system where they have to work forever. But once they go, it's gonna be crazy, y'all. It's gonna be crazy, y'all. I want to shout everybody out. I'm waiting till I get to a red light. We almost at the job too, about 10 minutes away. Life after 50, yo. And I know a lot of people say you don't start to think about this until you pass a certain age. But I've been thinking about this at 25. Since my first international trip was to the Dominican Republic. But it was more of a Punta Cana. But it was more of a vacation, touristic thing. My first international trip where I started believing that, yo, international can be a way where I can solidify my retirement when I get over 50, was when I was in where was it? I think when I was in Colombia in 2021. I was in Medellin. That's how long it took me. I've been traveling since 18. I've been on YouTube for 15 years, but from 18 to 2021, I was what? I'm 40 now. 2021 was 3 years ago. I was 37. It wasn't until I was 37 until I really understood that international is going to be the way that I can maximize my retirement. How can I how can I use what I have already? Luckily, I had invested. I had houses at the time. But how can I use my knowledge of my international travel to create a life where I don't have to work forever? Where after 50, I can retire and live comfortably. Now, you also have to take in consideration, if you got kids and you don't want to be one of the parents that don't see their kids often, you might have to either live closer or you might not be able to do it. So you have that kids are something that you do have to take in consideration. You also have to take in consideration debt, because debt is one of the biggest things that can stop you in retirement. If but currently now I have like a $30,000 debt in credit cards, and aside from my houses and my car payment, whatever that is, but that equals out because the car is worth its value. But if I have assets like my condo in Miami that I can sell and become debt free and do that, then at any time I can do that. But if you have a major debt, that's going to eat into your retirement. Because you got to remember, as United States citizens, they can take money from us anywhere in the world. There's not many countries that tax you as a citizen when you move outside of the country. United States is one of them countries. But in the same way, the good thing is that the United States, you can still receive your pension. And I don't want to get too detailed in this, because there's a lot more older, wiser people who are living this currently overseas from their pension who can tell you a lot more. Like, I don't know, we'll check out Vagabond Travels, an older European gentleman, or Sunshine Shoulders, or Zoom to Thailand, or the people who can get a pension and they've been living overseas for a minute, that can tell you more. But I'm telling you this, if you got debt, they gonna tax you. The United States is gonna find you and get their money. The government's gonna find, or government or the law, they're gonna find you and get their money. So that's something that you also want to consider when you're over 50. I'm gonna get to all your comments when we get to the what's the name, y'all. Life after 50, y'all. And we're not even getting into the health aspect. I know y'all see me here eating bad. We're not even getting into the health aspect. I just want to talk about financially. Because financially, a lot of people can't see past what's in front of them. Man. Do you think that these people that work at Walmart and be like 65 years old, do you think they plan to do that? Or do you think that they didn't plan to do anything and that's what happened? Health insurance becomes more expensive after 50. Life insurance, if you do it, becomes more expensive after 50. Now, yes, the cost of living goes down because you're not doing as much as you're going to do. But I understand I understand the thought of traveling and enjoying the moment, because you never know where you can go. I said it before. But if you're not planning, man, it's gonna be so bad, and it's just gonna be so. I wish I could really get into detail more about like with analytics and stuff to show you how worse it is now than it was in the past. But again, y'all, I'm almost at the station in like 5 minutes. We'll shout you guys out. And I didn't even get into school debt. This is why I'm happy that my daughter doesn't want to go to college. She wants to get a cosmetology license, because certain debts in the United States, when you retire, you can't declare bankruptcy. And guess what? That school debt that you got, that's one of the first things that you want to make sure you pay off, because they're gonna always come for that school debt. You'll never be able to just write that debt off on as a bankruptcy. No matter where you are in the world, they're gonna always come for that school debt. Credit card debt, 7 years, you can be okay, it might not matter. But school debt, nah, man. It's a detonation, bro. Like, my goodness. And there's a lot of different places that you can go. I'm not saying that one place is better than another. I'm just saying that in your time while you're young, while you're able to move around, while you're in your 20s, while you're in your 30s. It's great to travel, but as you travel, try to look for more than just the fun. Try to look for something more long-term and more consistent, because you're going to hate yourself after 50. If you're sitting there and it's 100 degrees outside and you in a crossing guard outfit, you're going to hate yourself after 50. If you're sitting in an office and you know you don't have anything to retire from because you spent all your money on hookers, or you spend all your money falling in love, getting married, and getting divorced, or you spend all your money having a bunch of kids in the States and they got you on child support all over the place. You're gonna hate yourself if you're not planning for after 50. And I know most people it don't hit them until you get close to it. It don't hit people until you hit 40. It don't hit people until you realize, I don't have anything to save in my savings. I don't have anything. I don't have a 401k. My job doesn't give me a pension. I don't have a full Social Security because Social Security can't afford to pay it. I'm just parking right now and we can have a conversation, y'all, for a little bit. You got to think about life after 50, yo. You got to. I'm only 39, be 40 this year, but I've been thinking about life after 50 since I hit my 30s. All right, let me get to y'all, yo. All right. Again, salute the Barks, y'all. Jay Brass, what it do? Judge Driss, what's good? What's good? Muhammadullah, salute. Appreciate it, man. Rico, what up? Nick, Chicken Burrito, what it do, man? Some guys will work still because they need something to do. That's a fact. That's why I said there are exceptions. But the issue with that is that if after 50 you haven't planned, if after 50 you haven't, if before 50 you haven't found something to do that keeps you entertained, that keeps you educated, that keeps you, happy aside from working, then you spent a lot of time wasted. You spent a lot of time wasted. If you live to 50 and you haven't found what you can do outside of working that can make you happy, my bro, you got a whole nother conversation to have. Bobo said this is deep. Listen, I know a lot of people don't like to have this conversation like this, because it's not cool, it's not it's not entertaining, but it's necessary, because a lot of us in this chat, I don't know if you guys can, but you got 50 people in the chat right now, early in the morning. Let me know what age you are. Like, put your age in the chat room right now, because I want to see if it's just me that thinks about this because I'm about to hit 40, or if people are starting to think at a younger age, yo, I need to think about life after 50. And once you put your age, yeah, because I just want to know, man. Damon Williams, what up, Flyboy? I'm a new subscriber. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support. Been watching your travel vlogs, very motivational. I'm planning on coming to Colombia next year. Salute, T-Dot in the building. I definitely got to get the T-Dot again, yo. Shout out to the homie from T-Dot. I got his name that I met. In Carabana. Yeah, that's dope, man. Travel Shortcuts, what's going on? Another great G Talk installment. Salute. Travel Shortcuts, I know you're from the UK. Around there, I believe. Is it different from in the UK than the United States? Because I'm speaking as a person from the United States. There are a lot of people who are still working after 70 here because they can't afford it here. And I know it's expensive. It's almost as expensive in the UK as it is here. Is there a large amount of people who are still working, or are they better investors? Do they have a better system out there that helps people retire? Because Social Security, if that's the gold standard of the world, we in trouble. Harry Father, there is no more retirement age. It's tough, man. I don't want to say there's no more retirement age, because there is a point where you're going to receive a Social Security. I don't care if it's empty, you're going to receive some portion of the money you contributed, because the United States would go into chaos if they just completely cut off Social Security, and people have been playing and people have been playing into it their whole life. My opinion. These are all my opinions. This is not, but I think the United States would never completely cut off Social Security, because it would go into world war or civil war if everybody's been paying their whole life and they no longer have Social Security. So yeah, there's always going to be some form of it, but it might be so little that the only way you can use it to survive is if you go internationally. And the crazy thing is, shout out to the guy from Toronto. I believe in Canada they have something similar, but you have to live in Canada for 6 months out of the year or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Who's it is from Toronto? Correct me if I'm wrong, Damon Williams, if you're still here. I believe, because I was listening, in Canada they have something like Social Security, but you have to be in Canada like 6 months out of the year in order to get that, or something like that. And that sounds crazy, because in the United States we can go anywhere in the world and receive our Social Security and in full. But yeah, that's crazy. Facts. You can't depend on a pension, not at all. Most of them you have them. Harry Father said, "What's up? We are slaves to the system." Unfortunately, that's the way it's set up, though. That's the way it's set up. We can complain as much as we can, but I'm here to not only tell you my reality of things, but I'm here to give you solutions too. And the only solution, because it's rare that I say only, the only solution that makes sense in the United States is to have a way to retire internationally. And if you don't know about international, you know what's going to happen? You're going to be the person at Walmart at 75 years old still trying to afford to live the money that you cost to live in a retirement home. Again, that's outside of real estate. It's crazy, man. Drew says, there are still companies that have pensions. If you're in your 20s, look to work at federal government. Yes, baby boomers are retirement. Here's the thing, though. When the government runs out of money, which it has, it's in debt, the government debt keeps growing, a lot of these jobs are going to readjust the pensions that you get. For example, at one time, I wanted to be a police officer, because I didn't want to do the military because I'm my mother's only son. And I don't have a father. Well, it was in my life. I wanted to be a police officer because I found out that as a police officer at the time when I was younger, you could work 20 years and retire. Also, as a fireman, like both of my brothers are firemen, you could go 20 years and retire. That was awesome. But by the time I decided that I was going to really go through with trying to take the police test, I was 34, because you can only do it when you're 30 or up to 35. I was 34, and things had changed. I got all the way to the part of orientation. I scored like a 97 something on the test. The physical part, we didn't have a physical part that for the police thing. But the part I passed the high color. They was calling me all the time. It was right in Newark. And they was like, in the orientation, they was like, hey, first of all, we don't have you're only gonna make 30,000. And now you don't get your pension. You're not able to retire until you're 25 or 30 years in. Or no, 30 years in at the time. And I said, there's no way I'm working 30 years at 35 before I can retire and get a pension. So that's out the window. That's when I really started pushing forward with real estate. Yes, there are companies that you can still get pension, but the companies are going to work either the government or you're going to be in one of the armed forces. Now, do I think any wars will come up? I think maybe. But even if no wars come up, it's a real risk if you're not a certain age joining, and you got to stay long. And eventually, they're going to extend the military age. Eventually, you're going to have to be working 25 years in the military or 30 years in the military. The same way they changed the police from 20 years to 30 years. They're going to do the same thing because the government is not going to have the money to be able to keep doing this, give people 20 years. I don't know if it's in now. Maybe if you're in the military, you can tell me now, where you can work 20 years and retire and get a pension. It's just not going to be. It's just not going to be. The big Euro stepper. That's the point. The point of this Euro stepper is that you're not supposed to start talking or thinking about life after 50 when you're after 50. You're supposed to start thinking about life after 50 in your 30s, maybe in your 20s. Because if you're not thinking about it and it comes up and you're not ready, you can't change it. You can't change. You won't be able to, you can't go back. You can't change the past. You can't go back to your 20s and say, I wish, you can't go back to your 30s, because in the 20s, I think it's a learning phase. You just got to enjoy life and stack money. You stacking money for whatever you think. You don't have to have a plan, but stack money so when you do figure out a plan, you know what you want to do with it. You're going to get money one day, but if you don't have a plan or know what to do with it, it's going to be wasted no matter how much money you get. So in your 30s, you got to start thinking about life after 50. In your 40s, you got to think a lot more about life after 50. And when you're 50, then you got to make sure that you stay with the path that you've been thinking about since your 30s. So yeah, I'm not even 50 yet. I'm not even 40 yet. I'll be 40 in July. Next month, I'll be 40. But I've been thinking about this since I was 25 because it's important. It's important because I don't want to be one of the, I'm not going to be. Now I'm not going to be because I thought about it. But I wouldn't want to be one of these guys that's 60 years old, still working. No offense to anybody. I don't want to be coming to the office, even though I got the easiest job you could possibly have, bro. I work like 4 hours a day. Come on, man. I drive trucks. I'm by myself. I listen to music. I watch YouTube videos, and I drop off packages when I don't even see the people. I got one of the easiest jobs in the world, but I still don't want to be doing this after 50. I still don't want to be doing this after 50. That's crazy, man. Chicken burrito. Most likely not staying in the States when I retire. It depends on kids and family. It does. And even when you outside of the financial aspect of things, when you think about life after 50, you got to start considering, damn, I don't want to have no kids at a certain age so that when I'm 60 years old, I still got a 16-year-old in the States. Outside of the country is a little bit different. But in the States, having a 16-year-old and I'm 58, it's tough. It's a tough concept because kids cost money. Teens cost money. My son, I am 40 now. My son just turned 8 yesterday. 10 years, he'll be 18. In 10 years, I'll be turning 50. Notice how I planned that out. Well, not exactly planned it out, but notice how it works out. When I'm 50 years old, he'll be turning 18 and left high school. I don't plan to have any more children in the States. I don't risk having any more children in the States. Because I know having another child in the States after my age, after 40, will really put a damper on life after 50. Will I still be able to retire? Of course. But maybe my retirement looks different. Again, it's not just the financial aspect you got to think of. It's the where I'm going to be in life. It's the how am I going to survive? How am I going to spend money? It's going to be how am I going to have, what kind of family am I going to have? What age are my kids going to be? All that is to be a part of your thinking of life after 50, which doesn't start at 50. It starts at 30. Year 5, what up? Stocks again, stocks also. Diversify is very important. It should be on both stocks and real estate. Business as well as possible. That's the ideal thing to do. Again, I don't think in your 20s you should really be focusing on financially trying to find what to investing as far as outside of the 401k, because I think that it's better to stack, live life, learn how life is, and then once you hit your 30s, when you have the intelligence to choose, look, if you know most of your options, if not all your options, then invest, because that will be a better strategy than just investing in stuff as you think it's going to work, and it might not. There's money in the U.S. People are just lazy in research. United States people are just lazy because there's a lot of people who are immigrating from other countries who come here, who've seen the money from the outside. They come here, they get their own businesses. Now, yes, they got to struggle. A lot of them do struggle. A lot of them give up their life. I don't believe that we have to do that as United States citizens, but a lot of them give up their whole life to make generational wealth. And I can't see the part that's bad about that. But I don't think we have to do that as United States citizens. We just have to be consistent with how we spend money. Majid, what's going on, man? See hi. I feel that so much. Stuck in this little room when I'm 60 is nuts, bro. It's nuts, bro. And man, it's nuts. I got about 5 minutes left, y'all. Long Decado. Open a Roth IRA. Yeah, I heard that's good too. Retirement account with Fidelity Vanguard, compounding interest all the way. That's a good fact. And I'm not one of the people who believe you need to put all your money in it. At 20, in your 20s rather, put enough money where it doesn't hurt you and you can still travel and you can still enjoy yourself. I put 6% in. That was enough for me. Now you might have to put 8% in because the things cost a lot more. Even if your job only matches 6%, you might still have to put 8% in. But 8% ain't gonna hurt you. You'll still be able to travel. You'll still be able to knock down these pros in Sasua, in Colombia, in Brazil, in Thailand. You'll still be able to go and have at least one decent car. Yeah, 8% ain't gonna kill you. And yeah, definitely. Majik, shit, it ain't gonna be any Social Security left for anybody of 30. I won't say any. Again, I will say they're not going to have the amount of Social Security that's really going to allow you to live in the United States. That's what I'll say. It'll be there, but it's not going to be enough for you to live in the United States. It's going to be impossible. I don't like saying impossible. I don't like saying never. But if you think the pension, if you think the Social Security alone is going to be enough, I got a bridge I can show you in Brooklyn. Mad people use it. You'll make mad money off of it. It's not realistic. Yo. Hey, what Euro say? Hey, yo, play that drop. Negroes is cooked, bro. If you're not in your 20s or in your 30s or in your 40s thinking about life after 50, oh, you cooked, bro. Yo, you cooked. Because if you start thinking at 50, it's never too late till it's too late. But if you start thinking about life after 50, when you in your 50s, bro, you're gonna have to struggle, man. Because that's not in your income gaining age. When you're in your 50s, that's when your income start going down because you're working less. Your body's not doing right. Especially if oh man, it's not healthy. I'm not even gonna be able to get to everybody's message. That sucks. Buy a house near a military base. Yeah, definitely. I heard that before. Buy a house near a military base and rent rooms out, personnel, because there'll always be military. I don't care what. If the world comes to an end, there's always gonna be some form of military. That's a fact. Hey, Nelson, what's going on? Panama is great for a pension. Panama is expensive, but I know it could work for some people. Costa Rica is expensive too. If I was to suggest something for people, I would say put Colombia, put Brazil. If you're able to just sit swap, maybe the DR, but maybe not Sasua, maybe more like Puerto Plata, or maybe one of the states outside of that. If you're open to it, Mexico also. I think those are going to be the major places that people that's not really big travelers can go and retire, because yeah, Costa Rica is gone. Panama's almost gone too. I think it's kind of expensive for the average person too. Yeah. Jay Hill, what up? Yu-Gi-Oh! What's up, man? How you? Ooh. All right.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Thanks, man. You too. Jay Hill, minimize your expenses, start a business, learn to invest in passive income. Yeah, I think so too. That too. Shout out to Keenan Lambert, yo. He said, for my university, it ended up being free. That's what it is, man. Again, people, they knock the free universities. They knock trying to get a scholarship. They knock like the community colleges. But that stuff is saving people a lot of money, and it's not damaging them when they're ready to retire. Al said, man up early. Shout out. What's going on, Al? Again, joining the military is not for everybody, but I think that is still right now possible where you can get a pension from the military. But eventually, this pension is still going to, the pension is still going to be there, but it's not going to be 20 years anymore. If it's still 20 years now, it's going to be 25 years. You're going to be in the military 30 years. And I don't know if that's really something I would want to do. Keenan, I'm going back to Cuba next month, Keenan. I'm going back to Cuba next month on the weekend of the 13th. If you earn less than $4K a month, rent a room and drive a 2004 Civic. Yeah. Hell no. Right now, he said, right now I'm debating if I should get a Lexus or Porsche. And I'm 45, joining the military. Okay, so are you alive means you must have that military pension. You must have a military pension. If that's what you're debating right now, you must have. I'm a DM. Kelgar, what's up, man? Amanda, you know, donuts smacking. All right, so we got 31, we got 41, we got 39. You need, we got 34, we got 27, we got 28, we got 33, we got 39, we got 38, we got 52. Ooh, not enough. See, we got people in the age range outside of 52 that you still got time to figure out what you're gonna do, man. You still got time to figure out what you're gonna do, cause life after 50 comes quick, man. And you know that's just the way you want to be. Let me go to the bathroom, finish up with this. We got 5 minutes, y'all. 4 minutes. We got 4 minutes. I gotta punch. All right, big boss man. Ooh. Let's see. Investing is better than buying and depreciating assets. I mean, the way I see it is that anything is better than nothing. So as long as you're doing something, it don't even matter because anything is better than nothing, y'all. Just try to get to all your messages. Hello, how you doing? I'm an Arab woman. Okay, sir, you helped me when I went to Columbia. Oh, that's what it is, man. I appreciate it. I hope you, if you learn something, you share with everybody else, man. Your rusted heart will see the. Okay, that's tough. Sir, the hustle and the property is the way to go. Again, anything but doing nothing is the way to go. Man, this old head told me he didn't want to quit working because all his friends stopped working and retired and died soon after. He's just running from the casket. The issue is that a lot of people that die right after is because they didn't spend their 20s or their 30s thinking about after 50. When you think about after 50, we're not just talking about financially. You have to think about after 50 as far as life goes, as far as what you want to achieve in life, as far as what you want to do after 50. But if you start thinking about the after 50, it's not saying it's too late, but you have a hard time. 40 already invested in retirement and been prepared since the 20s. That's super dope. Super dope, Damon. Name a car. Al. It's not just about Social Security. It's how much Social Security you get. That's a fact. UK boss, what's going on? Holland is the best country to live in. Is it as expensive as the rest of the parts of the EU, or is Holland in the EU still? Is it still as expensive as other places in the European Union? I know a lady selling hair on Amazon makes that's tough, but I think I like to think of things as the majority. The majority of people won't be able to do that. The majority of people won't be able to do that. Oh, shout out to Omar Suarez in the building. Rich, question: if you could choose any time after meeting with you to remaining balance of Jersey's biggest newspaper, wait, what? Not sure about the question. Omar Suave, keep in mind some older folks are just enjoying the work. Yeah, we mentioned that earlier, and they don't want to retire. Again, that's why I say I'm not knocking anybody for doing like the guy who was a crossing guard, and he was like set over 70, because that might be something he likes to do. And maybe that's what he found out he likes to do. But to me, that's still work, and I don't think I would want to do that at 7. I know I wouldn't want to do that at over 50, let alone 70. I'm trying to get to everybody's comments, but we got about 1 minute left. Saudi Arabia already ended. Yeah, I seen that also. It's about to go crazy. The problem with foreign is the healthcare hospitals. Not all of them. Not all of them. You just got to find a country. Like for me, Colombia has good healthcare. For me, as a matter of fact, it's better than the United States. Thailand might have good healthcare. So there are countries that you can go to do that, but not all of them. I'm not going to be able to get to all your comments, man. I wish I could. Hopefully, you guys are joining live earlier next time. There's a lot of comments I'm not going to be able to get to. But I appreciate you guys for joining the live. It's your boy FRE. $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. I'm at work right now, y'all. I'm 39, I'm about to be 40. And I've been thinking about life after 50 since I was 25 years old. I hope you enjoyed Jeep Talk episode 21. Life after 50. Do you want to work forever? Forever, ever? Forever, ever?